Peace again, family. Apparently there is a part 2 to this Venus retrograde energetic read, because I concluded the reading and Spirit is not done. I realize that I'm constantly watching the time when I do a reading to make sure that it's under a certain amount of time, whether it's either to post on Instagram because of the maximum 15-minute limit, or to think about everyone watching and making sure not to monopolize too much time. But Spirit speaks and timing is divine, and who is supposed to get what is given will receive it. So here I am to continue to say the things that I guess didn't say, or kind of rushed over, being too conscious of time and what is time, right? And that's what came through. So cards are laid out as they were, in concluding, and just put them in the order and realizing the order in which they came and how significant that is, as discussed in part 1, the movement of things. And if we start back here in regards to the foundation, in realizing the first card that came through is our 6 of Inspiration, our 6 of Wands, I would be remiss, and Spirit is coming through and saying, like, you missed stuff. You're not channeling as deep as you can because you're watching the time. And I'm releasing that time aspect and realizing again that timing is divine, and that I have to let Spirit speak. I have to let Venus energy speak, because that is what we're asking for. The first card that came through is the number 6. We are aligning with the number 6 through this self-love commitment, this 6-day self-love commitment, because Venus rules the number 6. A Venus retrograde is 6 weeks long and is every 18 months, which brings in as well the factor in terms of the number 6. So I would be again remiss to not hone in on the fact that our first card coming through as a foundation, Venus came through and gave us her number, especially in relation to what we understand this card to be in regards to recognition and success and community, and rising to where it is that we're supposed to be as the constellations that we are, in order to show our truth, in order to shine the way that we are meant to shine, and how important self-love is, and how much that is going to teach us who we are through these rituals that we're going to do in the next 6 days, starting today. Inspiration again is aligning with Wands energy. So the Wands is creativity. The Wands is the fire element. The Wands are the fastest moving suit in the tarot deck. So this is also indicative of just how much impact just these next 6 days can have, that it can be, the transformation can be that quick. The inspiration that is going to come through just within 6 days is going to be that transformative. And I really do feel that way because of how much just downloading and processing and planning and preparing, the rituals and the content and the images to post and such has been, in the past few days in sharing this information. That in itself has been transformative. So I'm buzzing truly with the potential of what this is going to be every day, let alone when we conclude and prove our commitment, to ourselves. Ultimately, this is about realizing how much we are prepared to prioritize ourselves and love ourselves completely, and how quickly that kind of change can happen with Wands energy. Wands energy also brings in a lot of magic, right? When we think about the magician in the tarot deck as well, he's holding a wand and aligning with, like when I make my Organite wishcraft wands, I think of the idea of wands bring in a wish. Wands bring in that abracadabra energy of literally wanting to manifest something, make something what you want it to be, transforming something. The Harry Potter vibe, you know what I mean? Like holding your wand and just zapping something into what you want it to be. That's alchemy in itself as well. So bringing in that 6 of Wands energy, 6 of inspiration energy, and realizing that this is a time, this is an opportunity through these next 6 days in alignment with Venus going direct as we redirect and kind of look inward in terms of our self-focus, how quickly we can literally abracadabra our lives and transform them. Our Knight of Pentacles, again, we did look at this very strong, virile, brilliant, beautiful, black, shiny horse and what it takes, as I was mentioning, in regards to, you know, the focus to be that powerful, to be that strong, to be that capable, that able, and the movement of it. Again, this is movement because we have our 6 of Wands. Wands energy is about movement, is about speed, is about making things happen, getting it done quickly. This is also in regards to patience and hard work. So there is that notion of the next 6 days will be hard work. It will require patience. But if it is just thinking about 6 days or 1 day at a time and what it takes for us to commit to that 1 day at a time. Again, when we go into these, as we discussed, what we choose not to do is also part of it, right? The things that we do and the things that we choose not to do day by day in order to focus on the mission, focus on, you know, that ideal, that dream, that spotlight energy. And this, again, is not about ego. This is about recognition, about your brilliance, about having your tribe and the people that see you for who you are. This is, you know, the fame aspect of it that definitely heralds in regards to the energy of this card isn't necessarily about media fame. It's not about that. It's about your community seeing you for what you are, what you do, and appreciating your community in return, right? Because this is about reciprocity. Again, you can't get here without them. You just can't. It's the same thing of you can't get here from here. There's again, there's a system to this. There's math to this. There's science to this. And when we think about this horse, and this energy and this Knight energy in regards to movement, in regards to, you know, being dedicated to something and being reliable, you're showing reliability to yourself. This is going to be a huge test, in a sense, for yourself. The practice of this next 6 days is very indicative of how high are you on your own priority list. And are you willing to have the patience and take the risks and, you know, do what it takes, or not do what you shouldn't do in regards to making sure that you are being your most powerful, you know, uplifted, aligned, self-loving self. When we think about, let me just drop that card. But when we think about the contrast energy with these two, right? As we said, even just verbally looking at the cards, you can, whether you know the cards or not, whether you didn't watch the part 1 interpretations, if you know nothing, you could just look at these energies and superimpose yourself in them and decide which one you may kind of feel more good about versus not. When we look at these very isolating, you know, energetic cards, very dark energy cards, you know, what comes through again when you think about the 3 of Swords, which is the original, you know, tarot, but 3 of Voices in this sense. This is an air element. These are the Swords energy when you think about the intellect and what it is that we lock ourselves in. So the imagery that came through in regards to our higher selves mourning us and mourning this choice that we're making, that kind of being stuck in our own mindset, and that we can actually choose to blossom and open up instead of being tight, you know, in this energy and feeling this despair and this sorrow. We do have a choice to open up and to look and transform those piercings into beacons of light, into 3 beacons of light. The other thing that did come through that, again, I kind of, you know, rushed through in the first part is the energy of separation between your higher self and yourself. The mourning that is happening is also your higher self, not just mourning you and the choice that you're making for you because of your higher self's love for you, but it's a mourning of you choosing separation between you and your higher self. So your higher self energy wants you to integrate so badly, so goodly, but the choice that you're making is creating separation. Also in regards to ancestral alignment, which, is what all of this is about ultimately, because if we think about ancestral alchemy and ancestral veneration and, asking for ancestral intervention, and we have our altars and we're doing all of this work, we align with the Orishas and with the Netrus and the Sibyls and, just the gods and goddesses and of ancient Africa or wherever we may be from, if we align with that and we give reverence to that and we pay homage to that and we're, doing veneration, we have to remember that they are us and we are them. There is no separation. So whatever honor we want to do for them, we have to do for ourselves. And in contrast, the harm that we're doing to ourselves, we are doing to them. So that gives a perspective as well. Again, when you kind of look outside of yourself in this energy, right? If we focus on this Three of Swords, of voices, if we just focus on ourselves, sometimes we might miss it. But when we expand the picture, we get that bigger picture and we get, a full screen view in a sense, we really do have to consider what energies, what entities that are overlooking us in some ways, that are looking out for us from above in some ways, that are in tears, that are in mourning for all of those reasons, for what it is that we're doing to ourselves, what we're doing to them, what we're doing to the connection between us and them. And it hopefully brings a different perspective, in terms of, again, looking a little bit outside of ourselves. It's very hard to look outside of ourselves when we're closed off in this kind of energy to begin with. So we really do have to make a choice to just get up, when it's like that hard, when it's that difficult. Again, the Three of Swords brings in potential divorce. This could be, a potential divorce energy, a complete separation in regards to you and another person, you and entities and energies within yourself, habits, addictions, all of that. That notion of divorce, that notion of separation should be in regards to what is not working, what is not serving, what is hurting, what is harming, what is hindering. That should be what you can lance the boil for, that you can release, that you can divorce, that you can say, this is over. I'm over it. I'm over you. I love myself more and I see it now, and I love my higher self more and I see her now. I love and I see him now. I love my ancestors more and I get it now, So that's powerful energy. This is very depressive energy. A lot of us are in very, depression type states, even if it's not clinically diagnosed. The energy is heavy right now. There's a lot going on right now, and we do have to think about the fight. And it does start with us. If we are losing the battle in regards to self-love and self-care and self-priority, then we can't really go out into the world and expect others to love us, to prioritize us, to, respect us, to do anything for us that we're not doing for ourselves. And we can't continue to just think that prayer is enough. That's what this energy is too. Like, if we have our ancestors and our angels in mourning because of the choices that we're making, like, how dare we, in a way, you know what I mean? Like, how dare we kind of ask them to just wash it all away when at the end of the day, God helps those who help themselves. If we are not doing what it takes, why should they? Why should they be the ones to just snap their fingers because they can and make it easy for us? If we're not even giving them the vibration, we're not even giving them the indication that this is actually what we want, when we know that they can make it happen, but we have to be the ones first to make it happen, to set the energy, the course, again, staying on the track. We have to stay on track because they are at the end of that road. They are at the end of that track. That's where they are. That's where higher self is. Again, that's where this lifestyle is. That's where this kind of power and strength and beauty and resolve and discipline and reliability is. So if we know that's where we want to be, we have to stay on track. We can't just ask them to keep us on track while we decide to, flail in the wind, and bouncing all over the tracks like we don't have a destination, like we're not trying to to arrive. And again, the notion of destination and arrival is not about finality. It's not about, oh, we've gotten here and there is no growth and no more part to this journey. There are constant and continuous arrivals. And we get to celebrate that. That's part of this recognition energy. When we do something, when we succeed, when we get that diploma, when we finish that piece of art, when we finish that song, when we finish that poem, those are all arrivals. Those are all destinations. Those are all things to be recognized and appreciated and honored and acknowledged, and knowing, all right, what's next? We keep it moving. And again, the energy that came through before in regards to choosing better conditions for ourselves and our health and our wealth and all of these things and legacy building, the stronger, the more powerful we are, the more reliable we are in regards to taking care of ourselves, allows us to create more work, to write more songs, to write more poems, to paint more pieces, to do whatever it is that we know now we are meant to be doing in this life. And you know, the stronger we are, the healthier we are, the happier we are, the more fulfilled we are, again, in regards to how we are filling up our own cups and not having expectations of others to do for us what we are not doing for ourselves. Again, it's all about vibration. Everything is energy, and energy is everything. If we are doing for ourselves, we don't even have to tell someone, this is what I expect of you, this is what I deserve, this is what I need. We don't even have to do that. We are walking in that. We are living in that. And when you live in that, there are energies that will naturally be held at bay. They have to stay away because they know now, because they will feel. And you will be a reflection that they don't want to see, because then they're going to know that they're not where you are, for lack of a better word. They're going to know that you are not going to accept anymore the things that you accepted before you've kicked these things that you know are no longer good for you. When you are in this energy, they can't get there from here, right? If you can't get here from here, how are they going to get to you when you get here and they're here? They can't. So you're good as long as you find your way, again, in that direction to release whatever it is that you need to release that fetal position, that isolation, you know, that the illness. Again, this is very, very aligned with the choices that we are making for ourselves and our health, and how that ties into our wealth, because our health is our wealth. And when we show the universe, when we show our bodies, when we show our souls, our spirits, our ancestors, our angels, that this is what I feel about me, because it's what I feel about you. And this is what I feel for you, because it's what I feel for me, because I know we are one. That there is no separation between us. So I'm not going to choose separation. I'm not going to choose isolation. This hand is like these crying eyes. This is also ancestral higher self energy reaching out for us, the same way that this energy is mourning for us, hoping that we open up and see, and maybe that's the thing that snaps us out of it and says, oh my goodness, what have I done? Okay, I'll do better. For real this time, you know? Similar to this hand, reaching out, saying, I'm here, I'm still here. No, don't do that to yourself. I got you. All you need to do is unfold from that fetal position and rise up and make better choices and see me and feel me. And remember ourselves, to put our pieces back together again. We don't want illness. These cards are aligned with illness. And it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional, it could be all of the above, and then some. And that is based on choices that we're making, whether it's physical, tangible choices, things that we're ingesting, habits, relationships, etc. The Three of Voices, Three of Swords, also aligns with potential surgery. So again, if we're thinking about what we want a future to be in regards to legacy, in regards to the choices that we make to lead us, and there's no guarantees. Life happens. People get sick. People have to have surgery. People die. For lack of a better word, transition. I don't believe in death. We transition. We move where we're supposed to move when it's time for us to move, when it's time for our spirits to move to where we're supposed to be. But when we're here, as we are here, we do have a very specific mission. That it is in consort, in alignment with those transition tribe members that are on the other side, as above, so below. So there is no other side. It is a reflection. They are here. We are together. They're here. And they're reaching out. And they're mourning for us. They're calling to us. They're bringing us in and saying, see me, feel me, see me, feel me. This is a third eye view, as well. When we think about the energy, this is we look at these cards of what's needed. There's such strong third eye and throat chakra energy in regards to these cards. And I remember saying that the ancestors are giving us the blueprint. Venus is giving us the blueprint, and these cards are blue. There's so much blue to these cards that are telling us this is the blueprint. Take that quiet time. Take that time to reflect. Retrograde energy, all of those rewords. Purification of the things that we need to detox. It's not just things, it's people too. We know what they are. We know what they all are. And not only do we need to synthesize with our third eye, with this blue indigo chakra alignment with the color, but then we need to transform that down into throat chakra and be able to verbalize what that is for ourselves primarily, and then for the people, if it's people that we need to release. This 6 days is going to also align with our beloveds, whoever it is that we feel we want to go on this journey forward with, that we want, right? We think about this tribe vibe energy, right? We look at our tribe here. This is no hierarchy. We don't focus on this energy of oh, we're above anybody else. That's not what the point of this is. We are all this and this. That's what the point of this is. So when we think about in the energy of who is there for us, again, in regards to this, delegating, having your team, having your people there. Self-love is part of knowing when to ask for help, when to take something off your plate. You can't wait for somebody to always offer, because everybody's caught up doing all of the stuff for themselves too. This is barter energy, right? The Sacred Service Syndicate is all about that barter energy of this is what I do, this is what you do, or this is what I have and this is what you have. Let's just make a quick switch and make it easy for each other, while we're still doing for each other and supporting each other and promoting each other and putting money in our pockets or energy, because energy is so much more valuable than money. The gifting aspect of a barter is so much more valuable than the money exchange, the monetary exchange. That's part of the delegating, because if you ask for that help and you show yourself that you love yourself so much that you're going to ask for that help, that opens it up for that person you're asking for help from to say, you know what? Yeah, I could do that. Absolutely. Do you think that you could do this for me? Because you're so much better at it than I am. And that's part of this energy. Recognition, recognizing what you're good at and recognizing what your tribe is good at. And everybody coming together and making this thing happen. Because you are recognizing each other's gifts and talents and acumen and become a well-oiled machine to get to this constellation energy, to be this galaxy, to create this new earth, new universe that you and your tribe are meant to create and live in together. So with this energy now aligning again, the blueprint is telling us exactly what we need to do. We synthesize with the third eye energy, and then we explain, we express to our tribe, to our people, as we delegate, as we share, as we grow, as we build together. And we tell them, this is a new energy that I'm in. I'm releasing these things. Whether it's them that you're releasing, you need to verbalize it. You need to tell them so that they understand what it is. And yeah, that classic, it's not even you, it's me. I'm somewhere else now. I haven't been looking inward enough. I have not been loving myself enough. And I also take responsibility for why I need to release you. Because of the choices that I've made for myself that allowed me to accept this in the first place. So I get it now. I see it now. No hard feelings. Maybe this will help them grow in some way. And maybe there's something that's going to come back around when there's growth on both ends, but it has to be on both ends. But you have to only be concerned with your own. And the only way that you could potentially give them that type of growth secondhand, when they're going to take it, if they're going to take it, if they're going to receive it, is by telling them. That's where the throat chakra energy comes in with this blueprint. By now saying, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what I want, and I don't think that we are in a dynamic that is going to be able to provide that. This is an energy of go or grow. We get to say that. We get to decide that. We get to do it. Again, this 6 days is about doing that to ourselves first. Are we ready to grow? Are we ready to do what it takes? And then when we look at this ultimate energy, after we release, after we express what we need to release, and we've done that work, we get into this energy that is so heart chakra. We've got our pink unconditional love with Mary Magdalene and our green Tara with delegating and connecting with our tribe. So these are the colors of the heart chakra. So we're aligning very, very clearly with, again, this energy coming through quite visually with the blueprints, with the heart healing, with the feel it to heal it stuff. That's what this energy is about. That's what this, next 6 days is all about. The inspiration that is going to come through. The inspiration in the next 6 days that we are going to receive to make this new life happen for us. It's powerful. It's powerful. And I'm so understanding why, I did definitely feel like I was watching the time and overlooked, a lot that needs to be shared, that's coming through, that I need to hear, you know what I mean? And it all came flooding as soon as I stopped recording and had to be here. I'm here again. We got to do it. We got to do it. They got to do it. So then again, you guys saw, I keep saying you guys, and it's again, when we think about these narratives and the things that roll off the tongue, and I do have to give a shout out to Queen Cleesta Cotton, artiste extraordinaire, because of our very, very in-depth conversations in regards to things like that, all those kinds of things. And when we say in a group of women, queens, you guys, and how demeaning in a way that is. Not in a way, it is what it is. It's a very patriarchal driven energy and society that makes these things come off the tongue, even by saying, a self-love challenge. When we say challenge and all of these very Mars energy, aggressive, patriarchal kind of words, is because they are the ones that write the history. They are the ones that dictate and decide, and things are in the state that they are in our world because they are driven by that very often toxic masculine energy, not divine masculine energy, and definitely not divine feminine. And that's why this energy needs to come through, so that we can really start to tap in. Self-love is divine feminine energy. That is nurturing energy. That is mother energy. That is what we, man, woman, child, need to tap into more. Earth mother energy, that grounding energy, which we got confirmed in our charms as well, that we got confirmed in this imagery with our horse on this beautiful green grass with the, underneath the tree. This is mother energy that we need to tap into right now. That is going to balance things out. There is such an immense lack of balance in regards to honoring the divine feminine. The fact that Venus is the only planet that is named after a female goddess is indicative of that as well. But since that's the one we got, it's even more powerful, because that is a very, very unique and specific alignment that rules love, that rules relationships, that rules domesticity, that rules harmony, just like the number 6 does, and why Venus rules the number 6. 6 is considered a perfect number, because if you add up the 1 and the 2 and the 3, it's a 6. And if you multiply the 1 and the 2 and the 3, it's a 6. So in mathematics, and again, I was saying that the math of this, it all boils down to math, and how powerful mathematics is because when you consider something a perfect number, it's because of its equations. It's because of the math. It's because of the formula. So Again, we got this one card that was very, you saw in that, if you saw part one, number one. It was one card. I was looking for more, but one came and Spirit said, that's all you need. And this is why we know that's all we need, because we got the one card aligning with the number one. That is telling us about this new beginning, this portal that we are about to walk into. Again, about our infinite mind, the capacity of our mind, the potential of our mind. This is also aligning with the Three of Swords, which is about the mind. It is about the intellect. The Swords energy, the Voices energy aligns with the air element and with the intellect, with our mind, with our ego. We need to release a lot of this stuff. We need to unchain ourselves and unlock our minds and be infinite, and remember how infinite our minds are, and that we absolutely can make very, very specific decisions for ourselves that can be that instantaneous. It can happen that quickly. Six of Wands, six energy, again, Wands inspiration, quick moving. Like imagine today, day one, January 24th, mind you, 2 + 4 is 6. Okay? Like, let's not miss the energy. Like, this thing came through, and the more I am going in to share this thing, the more I am realizing why this came through. This was not an intellectual process for me in regards to creating, for lack of a better word, this 6-day commitment. I'm being used. That's what happens. They speak, I listen. There are very, very clear instructions that come through, and then I have to do the homework. Then I have to do the automatic writing and jot down all of these things that come through and read back afterwards. Or do these readings and watch back afterwards. Or have a dream and get up and audio record it so that I don't miss it, and then incorporate what needs to be done for the collective or for myself, depending on if it's, sometimes I'm not supposed to share certain things. Some things are just for you, but then how it builds you, how it grows you, the portals that you do walk through, the DNA upgrades that you do get, you end up helping your tribe and your community anyway. And I do have to shout out, my Sacred Service Syndicate and Queendom Quest and my family and my friends and, the early adopters, my clients for Back to Natural. Like, all of you are my tribe and I am yours. And I have to do better for myself and love myself better so that I can do better for you, so that I can love you better, so that I can do this work holistically, so that when I blend an oil or when I make a piece of orgonite or when I do a reading, I'm pure and I'm giving you something that is pure. That is that detoxify, purify, fortify mantra that came through to me months ago that I say every day. Detoxify, purify, fortify. This energy is detoxify, purify, fortify. They're telling us what to do. And we would be remiss, to not heed. I'm truly, I'm honored, I'm grateful for that. The number 6, again, aligning with Venus, is the number of pregnancy. So again, this is why this energy is so clearly divine feminine mother energy. If you look at the number 6, it kind of gives you this energy of a pregnant belly, right? Nice rounded number in that sense. 9 has that same similar energy, but because the 6 is down, it's, if you look at what this would be if she had a pregnant belly, is a 6, right? So let's think about what it is we want to birth. This new earth, through this process, loving ourselves and not just stopping at the 6 days. That is also going to be part of the test, right? For us to say to ourselves, okay, you know what? I did this and I succeeded. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, done. Are you done? That'll be the question. Every day you're done. Will you be done? On day 6, when you're done, will you be done with prioritizing you? Will you be done with practicing loving you first? Will you be done with thinking about your own rituals or repeating the ones that resonated the most to make sure that you are putting yourself at the top of your own priority list? That's what this energy is too, right? This is not necessarily about ego and vanity and fame, and this is putting yourself at the top. Your tribe is there You love them. You got them. They got you. But you have to lead by example for them too. To be like, I have to put me first. I have to be in the spotlight first. I have to focus on me first. As mothers, that is our hardest lesson. To put the mask on ourselves first before we put it even on our child, right? What? It's like, what do you mean? Every time I think about flying with Kai, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I can't. We have to. Because then you could both go. If you don't. Because by the time you're trying to get it on them, you could pass out. So you have to put the mask on you first. You have to purify yourself first. This is a lead by example energy. And if there's anything, that I, as a mom, raising a little girl, a little black girl, that I want to legacy leave is self-love. Is letting her know, like, you first, even over me, you first. Like, it is not your responsibility to worry about my feelings. Taking precedence over your own. Not to say not to worry about other people's feelings, but not to compromise your own. It's not anybody's job to be uncomfortable for someone else's comfort. That's it, again, that it's just not about that anymore. It cannot be about that anymore. And in terms of our own choices, the things that we do that in some ways are comfortable because we're used to them, but realizing that it doesn't make us happy, it doesn't bring us joy, we need to release that. We need to, again, look at this third eye into throat chakra energy is where the mirror work comes in. This is reflection energy, right? Which is also with this blue energy, blueprint comes through. When we do the mirror work ritual, it's going to be so powerful because you have to look into the mirror and you have to speak truth into the mirror in regards to all of these things that you need to release. You're going to do a scripting of all of these things that you need to release, and you're going to burn it away. When you're doing that mirror work, it is so much harder to lie to yourself when you're looking into your own eyes. Especially when now we have this very, very clear direction and confirmation that it's not just our own eyes that we're going to be looking into. These are the eyes of our higher self. These are the eyes of our angels and our ancestors and the sibyls and sages and ascended masters and star seeds and. So that's what I'm saying. This is also going to be very hard work if we're willing to do it. There's going to be moments even in these 6 days we're going to feel isolated and like we're in the fetal position and we just want to go in a closet and hide and not face things, not dig it up because of how uncomfortable we're going to feel. While we make choices to make others comfortable, that's not math. That is not the right math. We have to be comfortable being uncomfortable and get more comfortable making other people uncomfortable if the only reason they're uncomfortable is because we are choosing to stand in our light. It's time to make that choice. I do have 2 other goddess energy decks and they want to speak, so I'm going to align and see what comes through to just build on this energy to bring us closer to self. So I give thanks to goddess energy and how this is all coming through. What say you to contribute to this energy? Wow. Let's take those because they kind of stuck. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Queens, kings. I cannot. Do you see this? Aphrodite, self-love. Aphrodite, inner goddess, self-care, self-love. Venus. Part 1, I said very clearly, Aphrodite is Venus. Venus energy coming through times 2 if it wasn't clear enough, if it wasn't confirmed enough. Wow. Not much to say to that, because the channel has already come through, and confirmation, cosmic confirmation. We are on the right path. This process, which I am beyond honored by this reading, by this part 2 that clearly needed to come through, because like, wow. But just in regards to what led me to this is them leading me to this 6-day self-love commitment. This is going to transform us. And it is specific. You could do this anytime, but the energy of these last 6 days before Venus goes direct is what came through specifically, and why it needs to start today on January 24th. 2 + 4 is 6. And for us to redirect as Venus goes direct. Redirect our notion of self-love. We are not doing enough for ourselves. And if we thought that there was just surface, oh yeah, Aphrodite, Venus, oh that's cool that it came up in the, yeah, that's cool, totally, yeah, that means, yeah, go ahead, do this thing, it's going to be good for you. It's not just good. This is not going to be just good for us. This is going to align us with the Aphrodite, with the Venus that we are, the constellations that we are, reminding and remembering our star stuff. And once that's done, listen, ain't nobody could just come around acting any kind of way. They just can't. They just can't. Even if they try, even if they're not already held at bay energetically, you're not going to have it. Your higher self is not going to have it, and you're going to integrate now. You are going to integrate with this energy through this process and practice of self-love, and continue with that discipline. Be reliable to yourself in regards to making sure that you are continuing to do this as often as possible. Every day, every day. This is about consistency, discipline, reliability, the practice of it. We're making a promise to ourselves, but listen, let's be real. People break promises every day. We break promises to ourselves every day. So we have to be easy with ourselves and just accept that we are going to practice this a little bit more and more and more every day. Just something, one thing. After this 6 days, if there's just one thing that we can do to prioritize ourselves, to do that thing that we love to do, that makes us feel like we are feeding and fueling and fulfilling ourselves, that's all it takes. And it's going to build, and it's going to grow, and that practice is going to get so much more consistent and comfortable. And we're not going to be fazed by the people that try to tell us that self-love is selfish. The irony with someone telling you that you doing for yourself is selfish is because the only reason they think you're being selfish is because you're not doing what they want you to do. So who's the selfish one, right? Let them project. Let them say what they're going to say. Once you're out of this energy, you're not even going to feel that level of guilt or obligation or whatever it may be that will keep you from you standing in your light and in your power. Your light and your power. This is not empowering, and this is not bright. So again, the choices are there. And Amaterasu, self-esteem. Self, yes, exactly. Because self-love breeds self-esteem. Right in what I was saying in regards to people aren't even going to be able to come around and act in any kind of way. People are not going to be able to try to make you feel obligated or make you feel guilty or make you feel selfish for doing for self. Because your esteem is going to be built all the way up. Because you've been loving yourself better. You've been showing up for yourself better. You've been building yourself better and stronger and brighter. Coming out of the dark. Coming out of the dark, I finally see the light now, shining on me. Yes, it's time. And that is what that self-esteem is going to do for you. And singing is going to be another part. Self-serenading is going to be another part of our rituals. It's going to be awesome, I'm telling you. And then Kuan Yin, compassion. Compassion for self first and foremost. It is so important to practice the things that we want to do for others with ourselves. We cannot give anyone anything good if we are not giving it to ourselves first. As cliche as it may be, it is what it is. There are laws to this universe and to nature. There are levels to this shit. There are rules to this. It's discipline. It's real. It's practice. It's real. Spirit doesn't just flow. Spirit has a way. And we have to align with that way if we want to know the way. So compassion is so important. That's aligning with unconditional love. The compassion, the forgiveness, the love that is needed, again, in alignment with Mary Magdalene's story, and how Yeshua saw her, is very powerful because it was compassion that at the end of the day, he was so filled with that didn't allow him to see her the way others with judgment and holier than thou kind of energy saw her. And she became that number one disciple in the tribe. The least person that would be expected, and a woman no less, right? Yeshua saw her because of compassion, because of unconditional love. You need to see you with compassion and unconditional love. You need to see you how God sees you, how Yeshua sees you, how Ogun sees you, how Eshu sees you, how Yemaya sees you, how Oya sees you, how Aset sees you, how Green Tara and Aphrodite and Coventina and Sige and all of the angels and ancestors and sibyls and sages, and how they see you. And why, when they see you like this, it could bring tears to their eyes. Give thanks. All right, and finally, let's see. The divine feminine. What energy comes through a divine feminine in alignment with this guidance? Give thanks. My goodness. Wow. Queens, kings, I'm telling you, this energy is so deep. Marguerite Porret, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. I would also, as I always do, when angels and ancestors and goddesses come through that lived, that are not myths, I implore you to look them up, get the deeper message, learn their stories, because you will get so much more from it in doing that research and doing that homework for yourselves in regards to who they are and what they have to teach you and why they're coming through right now. Do that for Green Tara, Aphrodite, Coventina, Sige, Mary Magdalene, Amaterasu, Kuan Yin, and these ancestral energies, Marguerite Porret, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. Love is love. You are love. That's what this is all about. And this is why it is so important to practice that love for self. The love for self is the epitome of love. That is what flows over, that filling up your own cup so that others can drink of the overflow. If your cup is empty, nobody gets. Not you, not anyone. So you're actually doing for them by doing for you. It's the best way. It's the only way. You are giving reserves. You're giving incompletes. You're giving emptiness to others if you're incomplete, if you have no reserves, if you're empty. Fill you up. Remember to remember. Put your pieces back together again. You are love, divine love. And you are nothing except love, first and foremost and always. And what fills and carries through and spills over for you to be able to give to the tribe. Start with you. You got to start with you. Yeshe Sogal is the lady of the lotus born. Embodiment is the deepest bliss. Embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. Listen, listen. If this is aligning with this energy over here, unconditional love, Mary Magdalene, mystic of love, you are nothing but love, right? And then this is reminding us in regards to the detoxification for our body and our mind. Embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. If your body was made for enlightenment, you need to treat your body better. You need to not do things, put things in your body that you know is not fit for a temple, is not fit for the embodiment of ancestral energy. Because if we are aligning and acknowledging the fact that we are our ancestors and our ancestors are us, what are we feeding them? What are we feeding them? What are we giving them to eat and drink and breathe? Because we need to ask ourselves that question, because ultimately it's about what we're feeding ourselves, what we're giving ourselves to drink, or not giving ourselves to drink and not giving ourselves to eat. This is not just about removing something, it's also about what we're putting in. And that's where the math comes in. Like mentioning in part one, that's one step forward and one step back, or one step forward, two steps back. Because if we're acknowledging that this is good for me, but this is not, we have to remove what's not good. We have to put in what is good, and make sure that after we put in what is good, we're not putting back in what is bad, because then it's just this never-ending cycle. We're back at zero every single time. Every single time. And it does require the same discipline, that reliability that comes in. If your body was made for enlightenment, you got to fuel it accordingly. There are things that we are doing, eating, drinking, that ultimately do dumb us down. Let's be real. You know, I'm not going to start preaching my vegan gluten-free-ism, because that's some real shit, and I will go tell it on the mountain any chance I get. I'm not trying to convert anybody, but I know from my process, especially in regards to channeling the way that I do, and experiencing and lucid dreaming and interpreting cards and my meditation, all of that went through the roof when I stopped eating dead energy, when I stopped ingesting dairy, when I stopped ingesting wheat that is not even real wheat anymore these days, when I stopped, allowing certain toxins to come into my body. And sure, there's things we can't avoid. So because there's things that we can't avoid, like the air that we breathe, like radiation, like all of these like heavy metals, all kinds of stuff, that just being in this day and age of technology and weather interruptions, the way that at the end of the day they are disturbing the weather patterns purposely. These things we can't avoid. So because there are already things that we will naturally have to continuously detoxify and purify so that we can be fortified, let's do what we can to not add to that, or at least not have so much to have to purge. So that's like really powerful, especially again, Lady of the Lotus born, and we got the Lotus charm. Y'all remember we got the Lotus charm? Listen, and what the lotus grows from. So it's okay that we're where we are right now, but just know that that's not where we want to stay. Staying is not okay. See it for what it is. Appreciate the murky waters that is going to make you now grow into the lotus that you are meant to be. That is what you are supposed to embody. the sacredness of the lotus. Look up the symbolism of the lotus. All of these things, they blow your mind. And I did also, Spirit wanted to say, I did touch on the leaf coming through. Get plants in your house. Make sure a snake plant. You need to have a snake plant in your house. Snake plants are awesome in terms of the general oxygen, but they work at night in that sense too. A lot of plants will emit the oxygen and bring, take in the carbon dioxide that you're breathing out during the day mostly. But a snake plant, which again is very aligned with Sybil's energy, with our ancestral African prophetesses, you do on Kundalini energy, all of that, transformation, all of that. The snake plant is going to be beneficial for you in all of those ways. So look that up, get that into your home if you can. And the teas that I mentioned, to make sure that you're detoxifying and drinking, different teas, loose leaf teas in particular, if you can find the actual leaf teas, and you just simmer those at least 11 minutes on stovetop, steep it, let it cool a bit, strain, and you can have it pure or put a little bit of honey or lime or whatever, depending on the tea. But try to get some loose leaf teas. I have a lot. So if you need anything, please do not hesitate. I do this for the we. I do this for the we, not for the me. But we focus on the me so that we can have for the we. Okay? We got to. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I give thanks. I'm so thankful for the channeling, for the information, for the foundation, the clarification, the confirmation, the affirmation, and just this direction and redirection that is inevitable as Venus goes direct. I give thanks. Aphrodite energy all up in the space. Venus is here. This is a message from Venus, quite literally. That is how I did my prayer before coming into the readings. And there is no doubt that energy is real, and we are tapping in, and that energy is here. That divine feminine energy is here and confirmed in more ways than one. And I'm honored and I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for you for being on this journey with me and trusting me. I do not take it lightly. And I look forward to how we process in the next 6 days, and then, because it continues. So happy first day of this process. 2 and 4, January 24, 6 energy. It is day 1 of this last 6 days of a transformation of our lives and loving ourselves so much more completely. Let's get this practice on and in every day. I appreciate y'all. I do. Love is love. You are love. You are love. You are nothing except love. Except that love. That love of self. So until the next time, lest we forget, time to get back to natural.